Yo, welcome to Hot Takes with Cheddar Chaz, where there's no hand holding. We deal with facts, not emotion. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification if you haven't already. Shout out to our sponsors, DraftKings, Topo Chico, New York Life. Thank you. You guys should support them because they support us. Today is a pretty important show. As you know, the Pelicans are streaking again. They're doing their thing. I think it's our second or third 3-game win streak this season, maybe second. Something to be proud about. You beat the Toronto Raptors. That's a very impressive victory. You follow that up with another impressive victory, beating the Denver Nuggets. You know, shorthanded. You're missing Bi. You're missing Herb, and you still managed to go out there and beat the reigning two-time MVP and Jokic. You know, it was an incredible effort. Trey looked incredible. Jose, can't say enough good about Jose and the performance he put forth. Zion was great again. CJ still getting his legs up under him, did some really good facilitating. You know what I'm saying? JV battled all night. Billy gave you great minutes off the bench. Overall, really great team victory, right? But today I want to talk about how you can best maximize your two top players when Brandon Ingram returns, right? All of these victories, they're great, right? But the issue is we haven't seen this team victorious, consistently yet when all of the guys are healthy, right? We've seen Brandon do it, seen CJ get a victory, we've seen Zion do it, like on this current streak, but we've yet to see all of those guys do it at the same time when they're all healthy, right? So it kind of makes it difficult to evaluate the team. Some might say it's a sign of depth, and that's one way to view it, right? That's one way to view it. And some would say that, in the short term, some of these guys perform better without each other because, some of the players, their skill sets or areas they like to operate in or, a little redundant or they conflict with one another, right? I'll say this. As we're seeing right now, this team's offense is most fluid at its best. The scoring is easier. It's most effective and dominant. You see home run plays being, happening one after another when Zion is controlling the offense, right? When Bi was controlling the offense with Zion out, you still saw a couple of good victories. Team was scoring, beating, they beat the G League Warriors, but I'm not sure Zion played in that game, but they had a couple of good victories without Zion as well. At the end of the day, it's all about winning. So my thing is, how do these pieces fit when Brandon comes back? Will you see the same explosive offensive effort with Brandon in Trey's spot versus Trey there? Brandon is shooting incredibly from behind the arc this year, but you don't want to reduce a guy like Brandon to, a role player necessarily, right? But when you look at what Zion is doing at the top of the key, attacking downhill, how he's facilitating, how willing of a passer he is, you're kind of presented with some questions, and I think since Brandon is kind of the guy who you would presume is going to miss the most games, I think if you're the coach, you have to have a default system, right? A system to where Brandon, when you play, this is the system. When you're out, I can plug Trey into this your role, and this is still the system. I think you kind of need to start working towards that with the nagging injuries you're starting to see Brandon accumulate this season, right? And he's not the only one. A lot of guys have been out this season. But the Zion at the one, or I guess orchestrating the offense, if you want to say positionless basketball, right? Him orchestrating the offense seems like the offense that everyone is comfortable with. You know what I'm saying? Everyone seems to kind of fit inside that offense. Maybe not CJ sometimes, but CJ still getting his legs up under him. But Brandon and Zion, they seem to clash on the court sometimes. Whereas whose turn is it? Which guy should attack here? What have you? It's very common for guys who haven't played together. So the question becomes, how do you, or should Brandon consider taking an additional step back? If he's taking a step back already, should he consider taking an additional step back? And how do you have that conversation with him? You know what I'm saying? Personally, I think it's for the best of the team. I think there's going to be instances where you need Brandon as the floor general. You know what I'm saying? The guy controlling the offense, the guy making things happen in ISO. But when Brandon does do that, the offense seems to slow down. It's a little more stagnant. It's a little more stiff. Pause. It's a little more difficult. Things are a little harder than you would presume they should be with the amount of talent on the floor versus with Zion. The ball is moving, guys are reacting fast. The defensive effort is still there. This version of Zion, to Brandon's credit, you haven't seen this version of Zion all season. This is probably like peak NBA in shape Zion right now, and I'm sure he'll get better as the years go on. But yeah, I think to maximize Brandon and Zion, you kind of need Brandon to take a step back into the 1B, maybe 2A role. Just because the basketball we're watching now, it's so clean, it's so crisp, it's so effective versus dribble the ball 14 seconds, 18 seconds and put up a bad shot by CJ or a difficult shot of your Brandon. You know what I'm saying? So, but what do you guys think? Personally, I don't think there ever should be a possession where Brandon and CJ don't touch the ball. But I do think Zion gives you the best chance to win with the least amount of effort every night. He gives you the easiest chance to win every night as your best scorer and facilitator, attacking downhill, making things happen. I think Brandon, he's a proven guy. But, when it comes to sacrifice, it isn't always about sacrifice. Sometimes it's about relationships. Like, yeah, I'm willing to sacrifice, but I'm not willing to do it for that guy. You know what I'm saying? Ego and pride is a thing when you're on the team, especially when you're two high-profile guys like these two. But yeah, that's been today's show. Shout out to our sponsors again, Topo Chico, DraftKings, New York Life. Tell me what you think. I'm Cheddar Chaz. Any comments, anything, add me on Twitter, holla at me. That's today's show. We out.